Max Efficiency here. You know, recently my efficiency team was presented with an interesting problem: how to boost productivity. Well, after extensive analysis, we came to this startling solution: cut back somewhere. And so we've identified two key areas where we feel these cutbacks will have the most impact. First of all, breathing. Everyone knows that breathing in adds value, oxygen to the brain. But our extensive analysis reveals that breathing out adds no value, and if it's cut out entirely, we can double productivity. Along the same lines, did you know that the average human blinks 20 times a minute? Do you know what that adds up to over the course of a lifetime? Well, neither do I, but it's a very high number. What I do know is that it means that 20 times a minute our eyes are closed, and we can't be very productive with our eyes closed, can we? No. That's why we're recommending a reduction to 10 blinks per minute, or BPMs as it's known in the industry, and that will increase productivity by 2. Let's recap, shall we? First of all, reduce blinks per minute to 10 and no breathing out. I think if you'll follow these strategies, you'll find yourself having a banner year productivity-wise. Thank you very much for your time and your support. I gotta go.
Well, that seems pretty ridiculous, doesn't it? Obviously, you can't breathe in if you don't breathe out, and you can't keep your eyes open if you don't blink. In fact, breathing and blinking are so natural and so important that our bodies do them automatically. They take almost no time and actually promote your body's productivity. I'm here today to demonstrate that stretching and warming up are every bit as natural and important for our bodies as blinking and breathing. Animals do it all the time. So do athletes. Why do you suppose athletes in every sport devote so much time to stretching and warming up? It's because their bodies need it to perform well. And so does your body. If you've ever played in any kind of sport, you know that your body responds to training. That's why we practice, whether it's a golf swing, a baseball throw, or shooting a few baskets. Over time, we teach our bodies to move naturally in certain ways. Do you ever stop and think about what you've been teaching your body? Let's take a look at how many of us move through the day. Your body is watching you all day long. It watches how you sit, how you stand, and how you perform all your daily activities. Is it any wonder that many of us are all stooped over and full of aches and pains by the time we get to retirement? Regular stretching and warming up can counteract these effects by teaching your body how to age just a little bit slower. And the truth is, stretching feels good. When we ignore what is natural for our bodies, like the need to stretch, our bodies pay the price. The sad thing is, many of us get used to feeling stiff and a little tight. So stretching and warming up can make you feel better years down the road, and it can make you feel better the day you do it. You still not convinced? Let me put it another way. How excited would you be about the opportunity to work harder at your job for the same amount of money? I'm sure you're all saying, I don't think so. All right then. How about doing less work for the same amount of money? Sound better? Well, that's exactly what stretching and warming up allows you to do. Here's why. A muscle that's been properly stretched and warmed up can do more work with less effort and strain. The fact is, the warmer your muscles are, the easier they move and the more force they can generate. We all know how stiff our muscles become when it's cold outside or if we haven't moved around for a while. A major league pitcher throws several pitches at slow speeds before he ever attempts to throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Why? These warm-up movements deliver warm blood and oxygen to the muscles he's using. This prepares the muscles for what's coming, improves performance, and reduces his risk of injury. Stretching and warming up can help muscles get ready for work, but they can also help muscles when they're tired. How? Well, muscles fatigue because of a lack of oxygen. To reach the muscles in your body, oxygen needs to be actively delivered to the fatigued areas. This delivery system is stretching. A lot of you are probably nodding. You know that stretching and warming up are good for you. But did you do it this morning? Will you do it tomorrow morning? Why not? Maybe it's because you're working in an environment that doesn't actively support stretching. Does this sound a little familiar?
Well, If the average person performs one 10-second stretch every 20 to 30 minutes during the day, I predict that that person, on average, will be over 60 seconds behind by the end of the day.
Believe me, the clock is never a good reason to skip stretching and warming up. If you want to lose time, try throwing your back out or pulling a shoulder muscle. And the time you lose to injury is not just work time, it's family and recreation time too. Furthermore, the reality is that you'll likely work more efficiently because you're warmed up. Think about it. Runners stretch because it improves their performance. So don't let anyone tell you there isn't time to stretch. Like breathing and blinking, many stretches can be incorporated into your work and take little or no time at all. Another reason some people won't stretch is they're afraid of what other people will say. They'll look odd or out of place. Look at athletes, baseball players, football players, basketball players. Ask any of them how they can continue to do what they do despite the demands, and most of them will tell you that they take good care of their bodies. They work and play smart. Somehow, when they stretch, it doesn't look odd or out of place. It looks like they're doing their jobs. Many people say to me, hey, if I was a professional football player and they paid me $1 million a year, I'd be willing to stretch too. I say to them, you know, since I'm not a professional football player and nobody's willing to pay me $1 million a year to age faster than I want to or be beat up all the time, I'm going to do everything I can to keep my body healthy. Now go look at a work site. You will see people who have demands that, while not as brutal as football, are very demanding. And not only are they tough, but this is something that the body goes through 5 or 6 days a week for up to 30 or 40 years. The question is, how much of this daily wear and tear are you willing to take with you into retirement? Watch this.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next award goes to the employee most willing to sacrifice his or her body for their work. This year's Golden Gurney Award winner is Jack Purple. Jack, congratulations. He's a lovely man.
Thanks. You guys really don't know what this means to me. Of course, many of you do remember that I threw my back out in '91 and again in '95. And then there was that bursitis that I developed in both shoulders back in '87. But I'd have to say the biggest year was '97 when I pulled a hamstring and thigh muscle and then wound up in back surgery. Yes. Let's put the medal over my neck. I can't raise my hands over my shoulders.
Sure. Let's hear it for Jack Purple. Moving right along.
Okay, we're exaggerating again, but the truth is that we all wear out to some degree as we age. The question is whether or not your actions speed this process up or slow it down. So why don't we all stretch and warm up? I believe it's just a question of habit. We simply haven't made stretching and warming up a part of our routine, and it feels weird to start. It requires us to change, and that's always difficult, especially in the beginning. But believe me, the little effort you'll put forth to change your habits is nothing compared to the months and maybe years of pain from a serious strain or sprain. Before we look at some good stretches, I do want to say one word about pre-existing conditions. A stretching program at work is not designed to replace whatever instructions an injured employee has been given by his or her own health professionals. Make sure you check with them about which stretches are appropriate for your condition. Also, keep in mind these key principles of stretching. Stretching should not be painful. Hold each stretch for at least 10 seconds. Do not bounce. And don't forget to breathe normally while you stretch. Keep in mind that there are 2 types of stretches. There's warm-up stretches to prepare your body for work and compensating stretches to help your body recover from the work you've been doing. Preparation stretches are designed to let your body know what's coming. The more warmth and oxygen you get to the muscles you'll be using, the better they will work. Light movements such as swinging the arms, rotating the trunk, or performing some partial knee bends will help prepare these muscles for work. By the way, preparation stretches are particularly critical if you've been sitting in a vehicle for a while, have been inactive, or the temperature outside is cold. Compensation stretches are, in effect, ways to apologize to your body for the demands of the job. They are done to let your muscles breathe and refuel with the oxygen they need to keep working. Simply stopping for a few seconds and performing a simple stretch or shaking out the muscles opens up the muscles' pathways for oxygen and allows your muscles to work again at full capacity. So think about the part of your body that's performing the most work and concentrate your stretches on these areas. When you're doing a great deal of upper body work, remember these stretches. The chin tuck. This is great if you have to look overhead for extended periods. The shoulder stretch. The shoulder stretch is great if you are shoveling or pulling. The chest stretch. The chest stretch helps if you've been working with your arms in front of your body for extended periods. The wrist and forearm stretch. This stretch is very important if you are doing prolonged work with your hands. The rotation stretch. For your trunk and back, try this one. It's good for any activity where rotation or twisting is hard to avoid. Low back stretch. This stretch feels great if you are doing overhead work. And this low back stretch is great if you're performing work that makes you reach or bend forward. When your work involves your legs a great deal, remember to perform a thigh stretch. It helps keep your legs fresh if you're doing a lot of bending. The hamstring stretch. Just like a runner, you'll need to stretch your hamstrings if you'll be doing a great deal of standing, walking, or lifting. The calf stretch. And the calf stretch is a great stretch during the day when you're on your feet for extended periods. You know, there's nothing really difficult about any of these moves. What's difficult is making a commitment to do them every day. Nobody gets paid to get tired or sore or to age faster. You're getting paid to work so you can take your paycheck and enjoy life with your family and friends and eventually retire. It's your body. You need it to get around. Take care of it by stretching and warming up for every task, and of course, make the safest choices you can in how you perform your work. Remember, stretching is natural as blinking and breathing. You make the call.